Whispers in the Canyon. The Murder of Susan Berman. Suspenseful true crime story in 850 words. The door was unlocked. The lights were off. The little dog inside was barking, but no one answered. It was Christmas Eve, 2000, in the quiet hills of Benedict Canyon, Los Angeles. Inside the rented home lay Susan Berman face down, silent, dead. A single bullet to the back of the head. No signs of forced entry. No struggle. No robbery. Whoever killed her was someone she knew, someone she trusted. And just 2 days later, a typed note arrived at LAPD headquarters. Cadaver, 1527, Benedict Canyon Drive. No name, no signature, only death and directions. But Susan's story didn't begin with murder. It began under the neon lights of 1950s Las Vegas. Susan Berman was born in 1945, the only child of David "Davy" Berman, a feared Jewish mobster who took over the Flamingo Hotel after Bugsy Siegel's violent demise. Her mother, Betty, once a showgirl named Gladys Evans, was beautiful but emotionally fragile. Susan grew up in a house filled with secrets. As a child, she thought her father was just a businessman. But whispers and strange men in the night told a different story. At 12, her world collapsed. Her father died during surgery. Heart attack, the doctors said. But Susan never believed it. A year later, her mother overdosed. By 13, Susan was alone, haunted, but determined. She moved to Hollywood, studied at the elite Chadwick School, and eventually enrolled at UCLA. It was there, in the late 1960s, she met Robert Durst, a quiet, awkward real estate heir from New York. Their bond was instant. Two damaged souls, drawn together by grief, secrets, and loneliness. Susan became a journalist, chasing truth the way some chase ghosts. After earning her master's at UC Berkeley, she wrote for New York Magazine, Cosmopolitan, and the San Francisco Examiner. Her memoir, Easy Street, peeled back the glamour of mob life, revealing the scars beneath. It sold for $350,000 in Hollywood, though no film was ever made. Yet, her deepest secret was not one she wrote, it was the one she guarded. In 1982, Robert Durst's wife, Kathleen McCormack Durst, vanished, just disappeared. No body, no trace. Susan, still close to Robert, became his unofficial spokesperson. Some believe she helped create a fake alibi, even making a phone call, pretending to be Kathy. Susan never spoke publicly about it, but the silence was deafening. By the late 1990s, Susan's life had slowed. She lived modestly near the Sunset Strip, worked on a mob-themed TV project for Showtime, and stayed in touch with old friends including Durst. But trouble was circling. In 2000, the NYPD reopened the Kathleen Durst case. Investigators wanted to question Susan. She knew they were coming. Friends urged her to talk. She hesitated. Then, in November, she wrote to Durst, "I hope our friendship can survive this." He had just sent her $50,000. On December 24, 2000, someone walked into Susan's home. She let them in. Moments later, she was dead, killed. 2 days later, LAPD received the anonymous Cadaver note. It pointed directly to her home. The envelope was postmarked from Los Angeles. The word Beverly was misspelled as Beverly, a detail that would later become critical. For years, no arrest. Then came the jinx. In 2015, during the filming of the HBO documentary, Durst, unaware he was still micked, muttered to himself in the bathroom, "What the hell did I do? Kill them all." Of course, the recording shocked a nation. Days later, Durst was arrested in New Orleans, found carrying a latex mask, a fake ID, $40,000 cash, and a loaded pistol. He was preparing to vanish. In court, prosecutors laid out the case. Susan knew too much about Kathleen's disappearance. The investigation was heating up. Susan was about to talk, and Robert Durst, who had already lost one wife to mystery, couldn't risk it again. The damning Cadaver note. Forensic experts matched the type and spelling to Durst. In 2021, A California jury found him guilty of Susan's murder. He was sentenced to life in prison. He died months later, alone in a prison hospital. Today, Susan Berman rests in the home of Peace Memorial Park in East LA. But her peace was hard-won, born into power, raised by violence, torn between loyalty and truth. She was a woman who spent her life writing about other people's tickets until her own got her killed. In the end, it wasn't the mafia that silenced her. It was a friend, the one man she never stopped trusting, the one man she should have feared. And now, if you stand outside that quiet house in Benedict Canyon, you may hear nothing. But some still say, if you listen closely enough, you can hear the whispers